Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Wishing is not enough. We must do. Rightly said by German poet and playwright Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. This is a message that is particularly relevant now as we seek to control the spread of the coronavirus. Yes, we know the virus is here. So yes, we must apply the safety measures. Another thing, wishing that it will go away is not enough. So let us always do the right thing. Only then will the change we seek come our way. Hello and welcome to your Thursday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay with us for the latest news and so much more.
I'm sure my neighbors hear the screams and cries.
I'm sure by now they've seen the bruises through my oversized glasses.
Can they tell I'm depressed when we speak?
Are they counting my frequent days off from work?
Domestic violence is any pattern of behavior used by an individual to maintain control or power over another. Domestic violence is not just physical, it can also be verbal. If you're in a relationship where you are being abused or know of anyone, get out and speak up. Report domestic violence by calling 119 or the nearest police station. Get out before someone puts you out.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, April 8, 2021. The Judiciary has been extended with 8 more judges sworn in to high office yesterday by Governor General Sir Patrick Allen. They are Marcia Dunbar Green, Evan Brown, and Crescencia Brown Beckford, who were appointed to act as judges of the Court of Appeal. Anne-Marie Lawrence Granger, Tanya Mott Tullow-Reed, and Sandria Wong Small took the oath of office to serve as acting puisne judges. Carla Thomas and Heather Carnegie were also sworn in as acting masters in chambers. The Governor General commended the new appointees for their commitment to the development of Jamaica's justice system.
The promotion, or I'd say the appointment to higher positions of each one of you to be sworn in this morning reaffirms a couple of things: your competence in service, your commitment to nation building through work, and the understanding that the tasks assigned to you are not easy.
Jamaica recorded a major increase in stopover arrivals for the Easter holiday weekend. According to preliminary data from the Jamaica Tourist Board, 14,983 visitors came to the island from April 1 to 5. Over 13,000 of these visitors entered the island via the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says it was the highest number of visitors since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. Year to date, he says Jamaica has welcomed 209,930 passengers, of which 164,157 were tourists. Minister Bartlett says the data shows that Jamaica is still top of mind to visitors and that steady progress is being made towards a full recovery of the sector. In keeping with the commitment to safety, the minister says representatives of the Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO, and other government entities visited a number of properties over the holiday weekend. The visits were to inspect the entities and check for compliance with COVID-19 health and safety protocols by locals and visitors alike. According to the tourism minister, there was strong compliance with the protocols as players in the sector enforced strict COVID-19 measures over the holiday weekend, despite the high occupancy in most properties. Teachers and tourism workers have been added to the priority group of persons to register for COVID-19 vaccination in the coming days. With another 75,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccines on the way, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the priority groups were expanded as the country prepares for increased activity in the tourism sector and to get teachers and children back to face-to-face learning. The Health Ministry is now scheduling vaccination appointments for these groups, along with persons 60 years and older and staff from the Department of Correctional Services, Jamaica Fire Brigade, PICA, and Jamaica Customs. Persons 60 years and older are to register using the online portal on the ministry's website or by calling the National Vaccination Hotline at 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. Members of the other priority groups will be registered through their respective organizations. Persons will need to bring a government-issued ID or a letter from a Justice of the Peace to the vaccination location to verify their age. Members of the Department of Correctional Services, Jamaica Fire Brigade, PICA, and Jamaica Customs, as well as tourism workers, teachers, and other employees of educational institutions are being asked to bring a work ID. In addition to these groups, vaccination will continue for healthcare workers and members of the Jamaica Defense Force and Jamaica Constabulary Force. Members of the public who have already received their first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine are reminded that they must receive the second dose to be fully protected, so adhering to the COVID-19 safety protocols remains critical. Education Minister Favour Williams says the ministry has widened the scope of technical and vocational training for high school students through its partnership with the British Council's Social Enterprise in Secondary Schools program. She says greater emphasis is being placed on increasing the digital and financial literacy of students while allowing young people to demonstrate flexibility and adaptability when they enter the workforce.
It is also intended to improve access to work and further learning by ensuring that qualifications are relevant to employment and learning and meet the needs of learners and the job market, as well as education and training institutions. Given that technical and vocational education is playing such an important role in providing the skill sets required by enterprises within our economies, it is imperative that the expansion of technical and vocational education be a priority objective of all educational strategies.
Minister Williams was participating in a recent roundtable discussion at the British Council of Jamaica's Social Enterprise in Schools Summit. And finally, Mayor of St. Anne's Bay, Councillor Sidney Stewart, says infrastructural improvements to the Brownstown Market in St. Anne are at an advanced stage. The mayor, who recently toured the market with a team from the St. Anne Municipal Corporation, says the refurbishing work is progressing well and he is fully satisfied with the pace of the project. The scope of work includes the retrofitting of vending stalls, re-roofing and reinforcement of the structure, construction of new sanitary facilities and a charcoal room, as well as the installation of new plumbing and electrical fixtures. The project, which commenced early March, is being executed at a cost of $21 million. Mayor Stewart says the objective is to improve the aesthetics of the market and to lift the standard under which the vendors operate. In addition to the repairs, he says an area will be created to facilitate parking for customers and warns that once the facility is completed, there will be a zero-tolerance approach to illegal vending. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
We just rescued a Chinese national who was trafficked from there here. An Italian was picked up in Portmore, trafficked from Italy to Portmore. And just recently too, we rescued a Jamaican female who found love on the internet. So she was at home, very young, out of school, and was thinking thoughts. Went on a social site, I won't name, and she met a man who lived in Cambodia. She quickly fell in love, and the marriage thing and the proposals came off. She actually went to her grandmother the night before travels to tell grandmother she was leaving. And grandmother said, "May I see the passport?" She showed grandmother, and grandmother tore it up. They almost killed grandma. Instead of calling it off, she went and got an expedited one. And she was in Cambodia. The following week, the male was arrested by the Cambodian police for trafficking of 3 of his 7 wives. She wasn't one yet. But getting her back from Cambodia was a stretch. And because the relationship wasn't at the best with the US, all English speakers to Cambodia was a challenge. So we had to engage Interpol Germany for them to intervene on our behalf. And the child came back.
If you know of someone who is being trafficked, call the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime arm of the Jamaica Constabulary Force at 876-967-5627 or 876-967-1389.
Being a justice of the peace is a voluntary act and requires commitment to upholding the law. Let's find out what it takes to become one of these peacekeepers.
When you offer your service across Jamaica, it is absolutely important for you to be fair-minded. Ensure that fair play at all times is displayed, a person dispensing justice, ensuring that peace is maintained across Jamaica. To assist in solving the many problems that we are encountering in Jamaica.
We see them all over the country. We know their names. We employ their services for signing important documents, among other things. But do we know the extent of their functions, or how one even becomes a justice of the peace? Come, watch as we open the gates to the historical peacekeepers of our nation.
I'm appointed through the Ministry of Justice, and as a JP, you have to be very, very confidential. So people can come to you and they can confide in you with whatever, and you can be that person that they can talk to. You have to be a person of integrity, a person who is an unquestionable background.
You're joining a vocation that has been in existence and started from the 12th century. From 1195, the king, known as King the Lion-Hearted, said to the knights, we need distinguished persons to operate in boroughs, communities, right across England. So find some persons who can keep the peace. Some from 1195, over 800 years ago. Persons who were appointed were known as keepers of the peace. It was only in the 14th century that the term Justice of the Peace became the JP that you are now.
Ministry of Justice call us peacekeeper, and people do call us peacekeeper because we do keep the peace. Some of our duties that I perform, I witness documents for people, I do recommendations for some of the youths who want a job. I also do recommendations for persons who want to be surety to bail another person. So there are multiple things that I do as a justice of the peace.
The role of a JP is a voluntary one. So these officers are not to accept cash or any form of reward for the work done in their capacity as JPs.
It's something that you will do out of your heart. You have to do it as a person. You have to do it as a Jamaican. You have to love your country. And I believe that we have to stop asking the question what our country can do for us and to want to help to change our country, to change the justice system.
From there, the steps to become a justice of the peace are fairly simple. You must be a Jamaican citizen residing in the country during the time of appointment. You must be able to read and speak English fluently. You must be able to communicate and interact at all levels with all types of people. You must be a person of undeniable integrity who commands the respect of the local community. And you must be a person who has offered voluntary service to the community and the country by extension, while indicating the potential for continued service. But always remember, as a JP, you're offering a very valuable service to your country.
It's a fulfilling job, but it's also a tiring one. So I want to say to fellow justice of the peace out there, please, do it for the love. As what they say, do it for the love, not for the likes. You understand me? Make sure you're doing your job correctly. You signed up for a position to help people, help people.
Jamaica Eye will play a part in increasing your public safety?
Jamaica Eye is part of an island-wide network of camera surveillance systems designed to increase the safety of you, our citizens. If you have a camera system outside your home or office facing a public space, log on to jamaicai.gov.jm today. Jamaica Eye, we're all connected. The Ministry of National Security, creating a safer and prosperous Jamaica.
We stop at the appropriate signal, slow down to avoid danger, and move along when the time is right. But how does it coordinate so well to allow safe movement? The Traffic Signal Control Room has the answer.
Traffic signal, as we refer to it as, it's a system of electronic controls that we use to assist in managing traffic at particular locations along our corridors. In managing the flow, there's a system. We have mast arms. We have the signal heads. Signal heads are what you see, the lights, whether green, amber, or red. We have wires that are connected to a control box. The control box has a number of components that assist us in managing the flows through the intersection or junction. Now, before we actually signalize an intersection or junction, we do traffic counts. So we know where it is the bulk of the vehicles are coming from or they're heading to. You want to have that information so that in setting the timings, in rehearsing the timings for persons to go through, you know what amount of green time you're going to be giving to a particular phase of the intersection as opposed to another. Our traffic signals, the systems are on a fiber optic network that is actually right across the country. So we have a combination of fiber and microwave links that we're using to roll out what we call a public safety network. And the systems that we have been incorporating our camera systems with these, and so we're able to monitor traffic through our traffic management center that we have at the corporate office 140 Maxfield Avenue, and it gives us the ability to change the timings that we have at these locations remotely. In other words, we don't have to have our officers physically going to the location, changing the timings.
In the Traffic Management Center, we have something called QuickNet. So in present day right now, this is what we use to remotely manage all traffic lights. What you're seeing on the screen now is a virtual display of what is in the cabinet at the intersection via our traffic camera. At the first display, you can see this is our Model 170 controller. This is what we use as a standard in Kingston. So right now you can see all the visual displays. This is what exactly you see in a traffic cabinet. Beside it, you see a graphical representation of what is happening at the stoplight. So at the cameras, you can see two true movements and a turning movement, moving from green to amber to red. And now you can see the two turning movements start. So you can see two turning movements and a left turning movement happening right now, as well as a forward turning movement at the next part of the intersection. So the graphic can show you the plan, the status, the cycle length, offset values, traffic statistics. So using this, you can see if the stoplight is working efficiently or not. So this will tell us if the stoplight is down, off, in any problem or whatever. So before people have to call and report a stoplight is down, with this system, when everything is integrated, you won't have to. You automatically know. What you're seeing now on the screen is a viewing of Halfway Tree area, the Kingston metropolitan area, where we can now monitor traffic remotely. So before, to put up our traffic lights, somebody would have to go months prior and record the traffic data to put up a signal. Now we can have somebody here remotely counting traffic, as well as several different other specialized cameras to count the traffic for us. So Specifically, we can look at specific intersections, say for this one example. If we see the traffic is building up, we can allot more time to a specific intersection to allow the through traffic to flow.
We have well over 100 locations across the country where we have signals, and the number continues to grow because every year we look at new locations to signalize. The demand is quite high, and the demand grows with the numbers of vehicles that we are seeing on our roads.
It's absolutely critical that we receive the vaccines. You will see hospitalizations and indeed deaths likely come down. And so there is a lot of value to be gained by getting as many vulnerables on board as possible. So tell your mothers, tell your aunts, listen out for yourselves if you're over 60, and take the vax, because the vax is what will help you to guard against the COVID virus, and indeed help your relatives, your friends, those who you come in contact with, for the same benefit.
Did you know that child labor comes in many forms? And even if the task is helping out in the family business, if it stops the child from going to school or presents a danger to the child, it is wrong. Prime Minister Andrew Holness reinforces the need for all of us to be aware of this practice.
The culture of Jamaica is such that our parents would have instilled in us the value of work. And there is nothing wrong with parents ensuring that children understand the value of work. But when that crosses the line to getting our children engaged in illegal activities, such as scamming, when that crosses the line to get our children engaged in illegal activities such as becoming involved in the illegal sex trade and human trafficking, when that crosses the line such that being involved in work deprives the child of the opportunity of education, then that is not the kind of child labor that any country can be proud of. Many of our parents continue to take children out of school to help them in the markets on a Thursday and on a Friday. I can well understand and appreciate the need for the support of the household so that you can go to school on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But parents, you have to desist from doing that. The government has provided the resources necessary to ensure that children can remain in school for the full 5 days per week. And I encourage all parents, no matter how you are struggling, to take advantage of the support that the government gives through the PATH program and other means. There is no excuse for parents to take their children out of school to support them in any form of economic activity.
The role of the DRF in violence prevention in our society is to mediate. We believe that mediation is really a very good thing in terms of resolving disputes at the court level, at the parish court level, and at the Supreme Court level. Now, let me tell you about some of the matters that may come at the parish court levels. You and I live in a tenement yard and a fight. We report the matter to the police, it goes to court. The judge may say, well, you know, you are just probably a teenager, go to mediation and see if you can get a settlement. Because if you can agree, then you won't have a criminal record. We urge everyone, call our offices, come to our offices, no matter how simple the matter may be, come to us. We have persons who are trained.
So the process is to go to the ENDS website, ends.gov.jm, and click on registration. So you go on the platform and you see approved vendors, e-commerce providers, and passport registration. By passport registration, what they mean is that that's where a business or a courier has the ability to go on and register themselves. So a driver goes to sign up and they have to put in their name, their address, their phone number, their driver's permit, right? A picture of themselves and their PPV license. And if it's a biker, their biker carriage license. And the image, a picture of the vehicle and the vehicle registration number and address. So it's that simple, that's what it is. And then for a business, very similar, business goes in, business signs up, name of the business, their tax registration, their owner, upload the various the IDs for the owner, phone number, business documents that are required, and then trade license, and then if it's a food establishment, food handler's permit. So that is it. And I'll now show you on the other side the e-commerce providers. So approved e-commerce providers who have applied and are listed on the site are Qmall, Sagicor, WeShops, and the NCB, and the approved vendor side. So right now on the site there are a number of players, and this is being adjusted and fixed as we go along. So you'll see on the restaurants, and you'll see all the various pan chicken and individual vendors that are here. And you know, the one that I ordered from when I was testing, it was the top one here. I went in and went to this gentleman, you know, selected the piece of chicken I wanted. I clicked on the chicken. I went and selected the product that I was asked to put in my staking me to the payment site right now, and then it will ask me for my credit card information, my email address, my phone number. Here it is. Then you know, I add to the bag, and then I go to checkout. When I go to checkout and I put in my email address, it shows me the total, shows me the delivery fee. So the total goes directly to his account. The delivery fee goes directly to the courier, the person bringing whether it's the bike or the taxi, bringing the food, and it all happens, as I said, cashless, and it's all online and all digital. So at a high level, that is how it looks.
ENDS, e-commerce national delivery solution.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. You'll join us again tomorrow when we'll bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.